Hello, welcome to Traveling Young.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about how we think about Denmark being one of the happiest countries in the world. We're the Youngs.
We've spent our lives traveling the world.
And in 2018, we moved from
Chicago, Illinois to
Copenhagen, Denmark
Now we want to share with you
how our new lives abroad
is keeping us young.
keeping us young.
are helping to keep us young. Hello! So we thought it would be interesting to tell you a little bit about our take on Denmark being the happiest, one of the happiest. The third is Maya would say. We'll cover that later. Because a lot of people have asked us, since we've done this channel, a lot of people, Americans have asked us, they've said, you know,
Is Denmark really
is the hype
the
real?
happiest?
Is what it is? And I want to say one point, which is that you really have to start with understanding what the word happy means. And in Europe, happy doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as it does to an American. It doesn't mean smiling and laughing all the time and running through fields of flowers and skipping.
It's not a double mint commercial.
Happy actually typically means content.
Yeah.
And in French, for example, the word content in French is happy.
Yeah.
So the idea of being happy is actually being okay.
Yeah.
Not being terrible.
Not being terrible,
Yeah.
but content. Everything's all good. Average
like you're
is
not
good.
stressed out, you know.
Yeah, so we wanted to mention that, and then let's just jump in and talk a little bit about happiness. So one of the real reasons, big reasons, is Danes just are healthier.
Yeah.
And that leads to happiness, being healthier.
Yeah.
But you can be healthier because here you spend a lot of time on bikes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of time
getting
on
out.
bikes. I mean, I rode my bike to school every single day, so I got
Yeah.
a real workout.
Yeah, there's a lot of outside time.
Yeah.
Just
We
even
were
in free
out
time.
on Saturday, even though it's kind of the winter and it was a little bit cold. I mean, it was a nice day out, and so there were tons of people out walking. And that's just like a thing to do, is to go walk.
And it's easier to take time off work when you're sick. And
Yes.
so you get better. You take care of yourself. You don't work through a cold or an illness. And that just makes you healthier. So, you know, I think one of the reasons is because people are just healthier.
Yeah, I think so.
So another thing would be work-life balance.
Yeah, I think that's a really big one, and that's actually honestly for me been difficult to even adjust to, because I'm so used to Maya gets on to me all the time about working too much. So
Yeah, so the way I think of it is in Denmark, if you have a normal day, a normal week, you're probably going to work a lot. I might work in a normal week as much as I would in America. But if something goes wrong, like when Maya was having problems with after school, nobody complained that I took time off to take her to the different schools, to pick her up and to figure things out. So if there's a crisis, everybody respects your time. When you're on vacation, they respect it.
I heard that all the time, and I work for a consultancy firm, and I think those in the U.S. are notorious for being, you know, kind of time sucks. And when Maya was having issues, anytime anything has come up, everybody is like, take care of your family first. That's the most important thing, and they made it happen. So.
And that definitely leads to more contentment with your job.
Yeah, I
and
think so.
and just
For
generally
sure.
because you're healthier and you can actually take care of yourself.
Yeah.
For mental health by having time off work and being able to relax. So another thing is friends and family. So this is where there's a little bit of a con to an immigrant. I'll let Maya maybe expand on this a little bit, but I'll say the point is, as a Dane, imagine living somewhere where almost everybody you met your entire life and almost your entire family is no more than like an hour and a half from you.
Yeah.
You end up building very tight friendships that last a really long time, and those are people you rely on. They say if you make a friend with a Dane, it's your friend for life. Of course, that's the challenge because as an immigrant...
Yeah, well, I mean, coming from American school where my, 8th grade class was probably like 100 people, and then coming here to having my 8th grade class be like 20 people and everyone has known each other since kindergarten, is really hard to get in that group of people and make friends and have people fully accept you when they have all these other people that they've known for much longer. So it can be really hard to get into the friend groups and make your place known.
Yeah, so this is an example of one of the things that might make a Dane happier. But to somebody that moves to Denmark, there's these hurdles that makes it hard to kind of fully realize the friendship part of the happiness. And of course, our family is really, really far away.
Yeah, so
we
don't
haven't
have
even
that.
seen them in a year because of COVID. So we don't have family that we can see and spend time with, and friends can be challenging. So this is good when you're living here and in society.
Yeah.
But it's difficult if you're a
Coming
brand
in.
newbie.
Outsider.
Well, because they've already put the time aside for these close friends, and it's hard for them to get the time for new people.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a break for a moment, and I want to show you this commercial from Kokio. If you don't know
I love this
Kokio,
commercial.
they are like super good chocolate milk. By the
Yes.
way, they have like a salted
So
caramel one. They got this
They have
mint
dark
one.
chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
I mean,
so
their
good.
their chocolate milk makes me happier. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
and they had this genius marketing campaign, which was basically Denmark had fallen down the charts of happiest countries.
Yeah.
And Danes take this quite seriously, and
Yeah,
they will
yeah.
correct you and tell you
They're very
when they've been number
proud
one
of
and
it.
number two, where they are right now. And this commercial's hilarious because they basically think the solution of making Danes happier again is to drink more chocolate milk.
Yeah.
So,
Honestly, it sounds like kind of an American tactic.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
making people happy with
and
chocolate
the
milk.
commercial's
But-
actually in English, which is also
That's
cool.
true.
So
It's very cool.
anyway, here's this. Check it out. It's a hilarious take on why Danes care about being the happiest country.
Last year, Denmark became second in the happiest ranking. And this year, we'll become number one. Yes. But how? Did you know? Women are happier than men. And napping, it makes you happy. And what more makes us happy? Chocolate milk, of course! So now, go drink happiness bottle. Kokio! You too! Kokio!
All right, I want some chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Do we have any
Yes.
Kokio in the house
know
right
we
now?
do. We might need to
We
go
did
take
just
a
buy some Nesquik though.
stop to go get some.
But Kokio.
Kokio is so good.
Kokio. All right. So one of the other things that I think is quite interesting is there's a bit of a lower income gap between, I mean, there's just not a big income gap basically.
there's not.
And so,
Yeah.
when you're at work, you don't, you want to get paid well, but you're not motivated by trying to drive your salary up and make a ton of money and your title and those things. So all the other things we've already mentioned help make you content at work. And it's more about having enough money to survive, and it's not about building this huge gap between you and other people, so there aren't like homeless people and stuff around
and like
things.
what I've noticed is that the government helps you a lot if you are in a situation where you don't have a very good job, where like if you're unemployed, the government will help you for a few months a lot.
Yeah.
And also if you're homeless, they have a whole newspaper thing here where homeless people can sell newspapers on the street for money for themselves, and it's a very popular thing here. Like a lot of homeless people, of the very little homeless people there are, a lot of people do that.
And I think too, like just with education, with education being free,
That's true.
university, that
Everyone
I think
has a
there's
chance.
Yeah, everybody has a chance.
Yeah,
so that's a lot less stressful. There's less of a drive to have to make more money so you can save for your kids' college.
Yeah, public education lasts until you're out of college, and so everybody mostly are well educated here.
Yeah.
And that also helps. So there's a bit more equality in terms of just education versus massive disparities amongst the people that have a lot of money and the people that don't have money and can't afford
and
to go to
even
school.
people who don't go to university, there's a path for them because there's a lot of like trade schools and things like that. So they have really
exactly.
robust education on all levels.
Yeah. So another thing is when people spend money, they typically are more minimal. There aren't, basically our walls have far more things on it than most Danish homes do. We would be considered full of clutter. It's funny, Danes come in here and they're like, they say, this is so cool. I wouldn't want this in my house, but it's so cool.
Yeah, our house looks like a museum to some people.
Yeah. And so, here it's more about spending money on experiences and not just things you don't need. So they free up basically, extra, money that they have by not buying things that aren't important and they don't need. So they're very, utility at home.
Yeah.
And then that frees up cash and money to be able to go travel. So like in places we've lived, we've been in normal neighborhoods and entire families go to like Vietnam and stuff on holiday and things like every year. It's very common because their homes are simple. They don't eat out all the time. They make food at home, and it just it reduces stress around money.
And I think that kind of feeds into why, like, there's this whole, like, Danish design thing. And, like, the Danes are very well known for having beautiful furniture and beautiful, like, utilitarian things.
Design.
And I think it's just because everything kind of has to do double duty. Everything has to be both utilitarian but also really beautiful at the same time because they don't, spend that much money on that kind of stuff. So...
Yeah, and all these things combined to me, I mean, this is of course our interpretation as Americans living here for a couple years, just reduces stress.
Yeah.
You're not stressed about having to pay for health insurance or some unforeseen illness that can happen and make you go bankrupt. You're not stressed about saving for school.
No.
You're not stressed about debt because you're just not spending as much money on things that maybe you don't really need. And it's just like far less stress. And if I think about it in America, the things that make people unhappy is I got to save for multiple kids to go to college. Somebody got sick. I'm not sure how to pay for it.
I'm in debt.
I'm in debt myself. It just makes it hard to just be happy when those are the things you're grappling with. But when you don't, you've got so little. I mean, it's not like there's no stress, but it's far less stress on these big monumental things in life.
Yeah, and like I think especially with the healthcare and stuff, if you have something come up, it is, you know, I unfortunately had to spend the night in the hospital a couple weeks ago, or actually I guess a couple months ago at this point, and it was for my asthma, and it was the first time I'd ever had to like spend the night in the hospital and not constantly be doing the math in my head, like how much is this going to cost us, and like I could actually just concentrate on feeling better.
Or right now, 2 months later, getting some random bills in the mail and trying to figure out, why do I have like, 5 bills
It's so
from
weird to go and like
I gotta call the insurance company in the middle of the day.
Like there's none of that. You just like, and they were so nice, like, do you want food? You know, what do you need? Do you need more breathing treatments? Because it was for my asthma. And so it was just like, and then you just walk out the door.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously those things come at a bit of a cost, and there's, you know, higher taxes, but you know,
I'd pay the higher taxes to be able to do that.
I mean, I don't pay taxes yet, but to me, someone who will pay taxes soon, it feels like it is definitely worth it to have myself know that I'm safe and happy, and know that my people in the country I live in and my neighbors can have those same things too.
Well, and there's a trust that these things will be taken care of.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, and there's a trust. Now, the bad part, I'll just mention that Danes have told me this, that one of the problems with the trust is that, you know, this safety net is meant to catch a lot of people. And so sometimes people don't do enough for older family members because the government or some way they'll be taken care of. And so, you know, in America, there's a lot more kind of grassroots support when older people are ill or they need help and going to bring them food and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's because there's nobody else to do it.
Yeah. No, there is no safety net.
But perhaps that's one of the reasons why they're stressed in America.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
thinking
of
about,
course.
you know, what are we going to do about
Yeah.
grandma or something.
But, you know, I mean, that might mean a lot to grandma, though, to have somebody come and do something that they know.
Yeah.
But
this is a hypothetical grandma, by the way.
yeah, not my grandma.
My grandparents are fine.
But anyway, I mean, this is just our interpretation, our take, having been here. Obviously, we continue to evolve what we think about all this stuff as we live here. I will say that I was not unhappy in America, but I do feel a little bit happier because we don't deal with some of the things that we did before.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Like, I just feel not only, like, happier in school and, like, in general with, you know, healthcare and things, but also I feel a lot safer here around, you know, school and things. I mean, I was going to school in 2018 when a lot of the school shootings was happening, and that's something that just doesn't happen here. And so I can go to school and feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't even mention there's just like lower crime and things and stuff like that just makes you happier. So, I mean, that's just kind of our thought on what we think about why we, at least on our own, have been happier. This is not a scientific study at all. We did not survey anybody or anything. This is just
stats.
Yeah, no, I don't have graphs to show. I mean, I could be like Apple and just have some random
we should have
happy and then just have a thing and just like pass it off.
Make another magic quadrant and we can put things.
Yeah, maybe a happiness magic quadrant and we can analyze stuff. So we just wanted to share because honestly, a lot of people have asked us some of these questions. What our interpretation is, and people back home, people that would like to live here. And this is just kind of the stuff that we see that's made us a bit happier. And it does, I mean, I
think we've been happier here. I know for some people who come over it's much harder and I think they have a hard time adjusting, but I think for us it's been really good and we really like it here and we're much happier and it's been positive for us.
I keep looking down because Brisket's down here. If I went to pick him up, he would like completely run away, or I'd show you that he keeps jumping on like he's like, he's right, you wouldn't know.
He's over here like licking my feet.
I promise you he's right there. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let us know if there's anything that you think is interesting that we missed, and we've thought about expanding on a couple of these topics on separate videos, but this is just kind of a high overview of some of the things that we've observed as to what seems to make people happier here.
And maybe share with us some reasons that you think Denmark makes you happier.
Yeah, because maybe there's something we're not doing right.
Maybe we should be doing
Maybe we can be Emerald and kick it up a notch.
Start taking
get
notes.
even happier. Maybe there's things we're missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. It would make us happy.
It would make us happy if you're concerned about our happiness level.
Yeah.
And also just all the comments and everything is so great to engage with everybody. It's super cool.
I love reading them.
Yeah, it's very cool. So thank you so much. And I'm not sure what we're going to do next. We're playing it by ear a little bit right now because we can't go anywhere. But I promise it'll be something interesting. We'll see what happens on Friday. But until then, thank you. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
You're scratching your face just now.
Girl, you were over there farting, okay? Can we start the video?
Are you ready?